Hey everyone, Matt Sullivan here. Just wanted to give you a quick demonstration on Rank Math Pro and how this works within your new WordPress environment. This is something that we do provide the Pro license within any of the WordPress sites that we build, and there's a good reason for that. So if we're building out any content on the new WordPress CMS, whether it's a page, a post, any sort of kind of module content, we have this SEO radar over here on the left or the right-hand side. So right now, 0 out of 100, we really haven't done anything with this page yet. If we scroll below this body paragraph area where we put content, we're going to have the ability to put in a focus keyword. Now, just for demonstration, I'm going to do an article on dinosaurs. My 3-year-old loves dinosaurs. We'll do that. When we place that in here, now the focus keyword, it's starting to grade the content, it's starting to grade everything within the page or the post itself. So let's just put in here a title, we'll call it dinosaurs. And immediately, just by doing that, our SEO score jumped up to a 39. And the reason for that is, one, it's a page title, which is extremely important. 2, it creates an automatic permalink or URL slash whatever your .com is / dinosaurs. So we have that. So if I scroll back down here, you can see 1 check mark, hooray, your focus keyword in the SEO title. So we've accomplished something there. Now, after that, it's really about the substance of the article and the content that you're creating. So I'm just going to drop in some content that I've had prepared here on dinosaurs. And after putting that article in, or just a quick blog post basically about it, you see our SEO score jumped up to a 47 out of 100. So we are climbing up. It's good. If we go back down to see how we're grading, a lot more check marks here. So focus keyword in the meta description. There's a lot of other components to the content that we wrote, which is great. And one of the main things that we want to do is actually edit how we're perceived within Google. So we can edit the snippet, which if you Google anything, this is how you're appearing in search engines. You have an SEO title and a meta description that shows up. So in this case, we'll put in here and then we'll put in new video sample on Rank Math. And as I type, you can see this meter on the right-hand side. This is just kind of getting that almost like a heat map. But we are, moving up and up and up and trying to get to that green component. So I'm just going to put in here where we are in Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm getting towards that green there. So the great thing about this is that it takes the guesswork out of character lengths and what is recommended. So right now, for a title, 60 characters is what's recommended. We're at 54. That's pretty good. That's why we reached green here. Same thing goes for the description below. Let me just grab maybe a couple sentences here. And we'll put it in here. Same thing goes here where we get that character length. So it says 160 for the recommended description for this. So I just went way over. I just copied and pasted that in here. We're at 303. So let me dial this thing back a little bit. And let's see where we're at. 194. Let's take a little bit more off. And take a little bit more off. Okay. So you saw there, I just dropped this down to something that's within the recommended character counts. This at 122 out of 160. Same thing. We can just kind of maybe add in a little bit more. I'll put in some gibberish to try to get to that perfect ideal. Yeah, that's close enough. So you can see that meter jumped up. And overall, SEO, not great yet. Still plenty of work to be done on this. And that's really the beauty of Rank Math is not just having the ability to kind of customize how you're viewed within search engines, but the ability to actually get this real-time data feedback on how well you're optimized. So focus keyword in the URL, that should be in the URL. Let's just save this out just so it recognizes this URL. So we'll save it as a draft. And while that's loading, it's important to really optimize images. That's one of the main things that can differentiate a blog post and an article. So just because I saved that out, now the SEO grader did recognize the URL. So let's scroll back down. You can see focus keyword in the URL. And content is 400 words long. So, that is something that's just basic SEO structure. But there are, additional options within here and other recommended links and just advice around SEO. One of the main things too that they look for is your heading. So H1 through H6. And that's just a fancy way of just saying you have 6 different size headings that Google reads in different ways. So we put one of those in here, put an H1, and then here we'll do an H2. Now go back down and you can see focus keyword found in subheadings. So I was able to check that off. And right now we're just kind of working our way through this. Basic SEO, additional SEO, title readability, and then there's content readability. So there's just constant advice that you can really carve your way to the perfect optimization utilizing these recommendations. And like I said, they're all in real time. So there's no guesswork. You're kind of just having a coach with you the whole time through your articles that you write. And in this case, we're already up to a 60 out of 100. So doing pretty good. We're getting there. So this is something that within Rank Math, we handle this for our clients when we first populate their sites. This is definitely something that highly recommend. There's a lot of SEO solutions out there, but this is one that we find is extremely user-friendly, not just because of the grading and the real-time data that you get as you go through articles, but their actual dashboard is extremely intuitive, very easy for really anyone, from a beginner with WordPress all the way through to anyone that's pretty advanced and been utilizing WordPress for some time. Their dashboards is something that you can really control and view a lot within one spot. There's a lot of separate hosting packages and plugins that do a lot that is all combined within Rank Math, such as redirects, 404 errors, and things like that. So it's definitely worth trying out if you haven't explored this yet. And like I said, anyone that's a client of ours is going to get this included in their website builds. But you can see that within their separate modules that it comes with, you get a lot of different monitoring efforts. You get a lot of different optimizing efforts, such as image SEO, something people always oversee, redirects, schema, structural data, SEO analysis. So there's a lot that we could kind of unpack within this, but just from a high level overview, I wanted to show you guys how Rank Math works, how it optimizes articles. And if you have any questions on this stuff, please don't hesitate to reach out. Always here to help. Thanks.